Welcome to part 2 of my Scary Michigan series because you guys sent me a lot of stories. I wanted to make it one big video, but my phone had other plans, so we're going to do the second part now. Hope that's okay. And you guys have to see me 4 times on here this week, so apologies in advance. Alright, so if you haven't seen the first part to this already, please go check that out. And without further ado, we are going to pick right back up on story number 5. Did I read story number 5? What's that? Yeah, that was the music box story. Let's pick back up on story number 6. I grew up in Southwest Michigan. Michigan has always been known for a lot of active spots, and I have a story of my own to share. Well, my mom's. So growing up, I lived in a townhouse with my mom, her now ex-boyfriend, and his kids. I was the youngest kid out of all of the kids, and me and his daughter shared a room, but she was much older than me. One day she wasn't home, and me and my mom were cleaning and moving around the room until we were taking a break. Me and my mom were sitting on the floor. She was on her phone, and then out of nowhere she had blood dripping down her forearm, but yet that's not even the craziest thing. One day my mom was home alone and she was going to the basement to do laundry, and then out of nowhere felt 2 hands on her back and then proceeded to be pushed down the stairs and break her tailbone. She has been burnt, cut, pushed, etc. The house was built on a native burial ground. My mom had a cross tattoo on her back and got a burn on the cross tattoo that looked like a full moon with a skull face, and every time someone would take a picture to show her, the picture was never there. We would get mail for this lady, and come to find out she used to live in our old house and died, of course. But the mail we got was a ticket, in her name, but our car, in the same place my mom's ex was at the same time, and he got pulled over at the exact same time the ticket said. Ooh, that's spooky. I like that. All right, story number 7. I live in Michigan, Grand Rapids to be exact, but I was home alone around 10 p.m. letting my dogs out when I saw a shadow in my backyard staring at me. My dog started barking as it moved closer and closer. I grabbed my dogs and ran back into the house, locked the door, and looked at my Ring doorbell to see a huge, large figure next to the side of my house. The figure looked to be about 2.5 feet taller than me. I'm 5'3". I call my parents and tell them someone is in the backyard. As I'm about to hang up the phone, I hear a soft, loud knock on the back door. I yell, "Go away, I have protection," to try to scare them off because houses around me have been getting broken into. After I yell that, the door handle starts shaking like they are trying to get in. As they do, they yell my name, but it sounds like my mom. I didn't know what to do. But when I looked at the Ring doorbell, no one was there, and after a minute of the door shaking, it stopped. My parents are about 3 minutes out, and I walk into the living room to see someone staring at me through the window smiling. I froze. My dog's not even coming into the hallway. It runs off and rings my doorbell. When my parents showed up, we looked at the Ring camera footage and nothing was there. It was clean. No 7-foot black figure in my backyard. My parents said I was imagining this because of the scary movies I watch, but this is not my first interaction with this creature. It has been picking on me since I was 6. I'm now 18. Oh, not it mimicking your mom. Gross. Story number 8. I live in Michigan close to Addison. My house is surrounded by woods. Anywhere you look, there are woods. A few weeks ago, my dog was going crazy and barking, and we heard our neighbor's dog barking too. My dog was outside, so I thought he was just responding to my neighbor's dog across the trees. I went outside to let him in, and I always take a flashlight due to the heavy coyote population near me. I shot it into the woods and proceeded to get my dog. I hear a branch snap and look up to see a giant creature on its hind legs. It didn't look like a Bigfoot type deal, but it starts running until it got back behind a huge tree. I unhooked my dog's leash and ran into the house with my dog basically crying. And that was the first story they sent. They have another one. So every morning when I walk to the bus stop, it's very dark, again, surrounded by woods. I have a very long driveway in deep, thick woods right next to it with no fence or anything. I was walking to the bus stop on like maybe the second week of school, and I hear a branch snap and just looked at the woods and didn't see anything. So I kept walking up my driveway, which takes about 3 to 6 minutes to get up and down. As I was walking, I noticed that whatever it was sounded big. It was on all fours and possibly low to the ground. And it's following me, so I walked faster to my bus stop. But one day my older sister was taking my younger sister out to the bus stop and told me she heard something big in the woods snapping sticks. We have a lot of strays, so we did the little cat call for them and nothing came. She said it was really weird. I told her about my experience and she said it sounded exactly like hers. But a few months ago it happened again, and this time it was daylight savings and was nice and bright out, just a little chilly. I hear the branches snapping again and jokingly went, "Oh, okay, you're obsessed with me. I get it." It got closer, but I didn't see anything, so I kept walking closer to the grass side of the driveway. Then it made a noise. It sounded like a heavy, raspy, like mucusy breathing. So basically just me these past like 6 months with this cold that's never went away. I got very scared at this and just started speed walking up the hill. I got to where the bus picked me up and calmed down, but then I noticed it sounded like it was right in front of me. I got closer and looked in the woods, saw nothing. My bus was late that day, and that was my only safe hope at the time. It was getting closer and sounded like it was gonna pounce, but I heard my bus's screeching brakes and got so relieved. It sounded like it started running away. After that, I barely heard it. So if the squeaky brakes scared it off, what else could be in the woods that it scares whatever creature was that bad? Story number 9. I was in my room, and my bed was in the corner of the room, and from where my bed was, I could see outside my door to the stairs. I had my door taken at this time, and I was watching YouTube and got this random feeling I was being watched. I looked over to see a clear face in the dark just staring at me. When I saw it, my heart dropped, and I felt fear like whatever it was wasn't happy I was there. It just kept staring. With no facial expressions also. I called my dad because he works night shifts and told him what was going on as I was staring right at it, and it was like happy I was scared. He told me to walk through the house to make sure the doors were locked and told me to turn the lights on and lock the basement door that's by my room, so I did. I did everything he told me to, but I could still feel it watching me. I didn't sleep at all that night because whatever it was wouldn't let me be. It was like it wanted me to be scared, like it was enjoying me being scared. I went back to my room and slept with all of my lights on, but could still see it looking at me from the bar by my stairs that led to the kitchen. I've lived in a haunted house before, but I was never scared because it never did anything to really scare us. It just moved things here and there. I never felt terrified in that house, but whatever this was in my new house didn't want me here. It was terrifying. I had my dad pick me up early from school the next day because I didn't sleep at all. All I could do was stare at it. I told it to go away, and it seemed to get worse at that point. It started sitting by my open door, peeking around the corner. I have so many stories from my old house and my new house. I want to hear them. Please send those stories. That's so scary. All right, we're on our final story, story number 10, and it's pretty long. This is from the Thumb area of Michigan. I have a story that I don't know if people will find interesting, but it's very true. When I was a little girl, I believe around 4, we lived out in the country on a dirt road. There was a red barn across the street from our house. We never knew who the owner was or the purpose of this barn. When I was 4, I would hear footsteps while I'd be trying to sleep at nap time and at night. I remember one specific time I looked up and there was a man in my room. He was angry and injured. He was rugged and looked like he was in some kind of war or battle. I remember screaming at the top of my lungs for my mom and saying, the man, over and over. My mom would get to the stairs and he'd go back into my wall and my mom would never see him. I'd ask my mom about it throughout the years of growing up and she'd deny it until I was about 17 and I asked again. She said, yes, it happened, and it happened almost every day, not just that one time. When I was 9 years old, I was playing in our hallway closet as it had a full-length mirror on the door. There was 2 bedrooms in that hallway, and the man came out of the bedroom farthest from me, limping and injured. I screamed at the top of my lungs. I also had a sprained ankle and ran out of the hallway with my sprained ankle. It was the only other time I had seen him, but the ironic part is that my mom would tell us stories about what she thinks was a poltergeist in the house. She said one day she left us, my brother and I, to pick up my sister from school. She had been rearranging the furniture, and when she came back, all of the furniture had been put together in the center of the room. She also claims to have seen an apparition of an elderly woman from time to time who has a friendly presence. Another time is once my mom was home alone with us kids. My dad traveled for work a lot, and she said the smoke detector in my brother's room kept going off. She felt the walls and they were hot, so she expected an electrical fire. When she went to call 911, it stopped. She felt the wall again and it was cold. Another story is on New Year's Eve when we had 2 bathrooms, one upstairs and one down. My dad always used the upstairs bathroom. They were getting ready to go to a party, and my dad had angrily yelled down the stairs at my mom to quit banging on the door because it was very aggressive banging. She said the whole drive to the party they didn't speak to each other, and when they arrived at the destination, my dad turned off the car and asked her, "You've seen it too, haven't you?" To which she said yes. Then he realized it was never my mom banging on the door. I hope he apologized for being aggressive. My sister also claims to have seen a native in moccasins walking down the same hallway I was in when I saw the injured man. Not too far from our house, there was a road called Indian Trail, and in school we were taught that it was called that because natives used to walk down the trail and live there. That was my dad, but that was so scary. Where was I? Okay. Here's the kicker. We had neighbors about a quarter of a mile away in the country, so they were the next house down. The father of the family is a successful chiropractor. I never knew them personally, just knew their last name. Well, when I turned 21, I started working for him. His wife told me their daughter, who is now 17 at the time, was 12, would have night terrors as a little girl that a man was coming to get her. I found it too similar and sinister to my experiences on the same road. Out of curiosity, one day I went into the barn across the street. It appeared to be what looked like a school, as I found desks, play clothes, costumes, puzzles, toys, books. There was an area near the barn which sat in a field full of trees, which me, my brother, and our friends explored into once. We found a cannon, a legitimate, real cannon. There was a family of mice living inside. We also found very old farm equipment back there as well. I believe the trees have been cleared out since then, but we never got explanation as to why a cannon was in the woods across from our house. That's so fascinating. I wonder if they have pictures. I'm gonna ask for pictures because I want to see pictures. Anyways, that is all for our Michigan stories for now. I get sent some every day, but I have enjoyed telling these stories to you guys, and please send any more stories that you have to the email that I will link below, and I will happily tell them. Okay, bye guys.